Well, my friends, it's been a week already, and on the theme of resentment today, I'm going to be discussing my own experiences with it and what that has entailed for me. Hi, I'm Jesse, and this is the Valiant Lifestyle, and what I do for men and women. What I do for men especially is to arm you with the best information that I know of to the best of my ability. And what I learn, I want you to have as well, because what is my knowledge is now yours too. And I want to relay that to you. All right, so let's get started. Today, the theme for the week has been resentment. Now, what I wanted to talk about with regards to that is me and how I play a part of that. So this morning, I was doing some journaling, and what I noticed in myself was just this deep irritation, and this manifesting of something like it was turning into some anger for me. And this was coming up just after my 5:30 workout. And what I discovered was that I felt like I had some resentment from my dad. And the resentment was that there was a time, especially a time after my separation with my wife, that I really needed him. And I really, really just wanted a father figure. And during that time, I was not in the best of headspace. But what I realized too is he was doing his own grieving of the relationship that he had with my ex-wife as well. And that he didn't have the headspace or the capacity to hold me in those moments as well, because he was dealing with some inner quarrels of his own. But what that did was, for me during that time, I just wanted a dad. I just wanted a dad figure. But the gift in all of that for me, so I'm talking about the resentment in the way of this morning it was irritating. This morning it got to anger. But what I got out of all of that for me was the gift of resilience, the gift of knowing myself better than I've ever known myself before, and being alone. And I wasn't really alone. I was with my daughter in moments. I was living with my girlfriend at the time. But what I did several months after that, when I was living with my girlfriend, was really just figuring out how I ticked. The gift was resilience. The gift was patience. The gift was seeing who I was. And that was a gift from my dad. That was a gift from my dad. That was a gift from God, if you will. And seeing that and having that revelation this morning for me was very healing. And this is what I want to convey to you, is the resentment part. When we sit and let it percolate for too long, it becomes a pain point within our own body physically. This is what your shoulder pain is. This is what your neck pain is. This is what your bad back pain is. What it was for me was a revelation, and I want you to treat it as such when it comes for you. Resentment is a feeling. It is actually a whole exploration of feelings and things that add up in your body. It's a state which captures all of those feelings within thoughts. And for me, it was really nice because when I did my journaling, I sent the journal entry to my dad. And what I did in it was I saw how every morning when I was a kid, he got up really early. And what he did was, on cold days, of which we're experiencing here now in Calgary, where I grew up on the East Coast, on cold days, he made sure we were warm. We had wood stoves, 2 of them. And there were, on those cold days, he made sure that they were ablaze. Like, they were so efficient that they heated this more than 200-year-old house up. But he kept my brother and I warm. He got up extra early. Sometimes he had to cut the wood by hand. If he didn't have it piled in the basement, that's what he did. And that is a gift. That was a revelation out of my journal entries. And the resentment that I had this morning was, even though my dad wasn't there for me in that moment where I felt I needed him, he was there for me in my childhood. And what this has done is it's helped create more than the idea. It's what I call the template of how to show up for my family and how to be there for my family. And even when I don't want to get up at the 5 a.m. in the morning to start my day, to do my stuff, the love that I have of being able to take care of my family is what keeps me going. It's what keeps propelling me forward. And for that is a huge treasure. Like, that is an unbelievable thing. The 3 things that I believe that will cut you down when it comes to doing this for yourself will be the feeling that you feel, which is the program of I'm not good enough. And then the second thing is you create evidence, that confirmation bias for the first thing as I'm not good enough. And what that does is it demotivates you to do these things for yourself. And then the third thing that I feel that impedes you is when, after you have collected the evidence, which is the confirmation bias of I'm not good enough, instead of seeing that as what is in this, what is the gold in this, and how can it help me, is this choice that is made. So the third thing is this choice that is made that, you see, I knew it. This is why I'm not good enough. And you make the choice not to do it. You make the executive decision not to do it. But what does that do? What does that do, my man, after you've listened to 7 minutes and 48 seconds of this? What does it do? It creates more resentment, because here's how it goes. You don't do that. You don't go through the efforts of the hard, gee, this is tough, and you afford yourself the courage to do it. What you do is you create an underlying layer next to the still I'm not good enough or I'm not good enough, which creates more resentment because you get irritated with yourself or upset or feel guilty about it. And then you hack about it, you put pain in your body, and it becomes this cycle. It becomes this cycle. So the act of not doing it, after you've created evidence and said, I'm not doing it, after you've acknowledged that I'm not good enough, is what you've said, you bring on this problem by yourself, because this is what I've done in the past. And this is what I do from time to time too. I'm going to admit it. But this is what we do as men. We see something as hard, and we go, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if that's what I say every once in a while. But then I get to it. I pursue it because I'm going, this hard thing is going to propel me forward, and there's going to be some wonderful benefit that measures the energy and the effort that I put into this. And the benefit is just going to be amazing. And then it shows up, and because I've shown up. And then it happens. And then I avoid that costly, because it is costly when you're in pain like that, to create that resentment in your body. You thwart that altogether. It's gone. Because you show up for yourself. You decide to take a stand. I am good enough. I'm good enough. And you create the evidence of I am good enough. Because, see, I did this hard thing. I did this hard thing. And you do it over and over again. You create that consistency, which creates more evidence of that. And that vibration is higher than the one that you tell yourself where you're not. And when you do it over and over again, you create that confidence after you've created that evidence. And that, my friends, that discipline, having discipline, is love for yourself. It is love for yourself. Now, if this is something that really interests you and really intrigues you, and you would love to have a conversation with me about it, I would absolutely love to have a conversation with you about it. And here's how you can do that. Go to thevaliantlifestyle.com. Click that little red button that you've been looking at. If you have been looking at it for a while, push it, do it. Schedule a time. Let's do a 30-minute discovery call and let's get after it. And if this is your first time subscribing to this channel, I'd like to invite you to subscribe here. If this is your first time watching it, click all, the little all bell. And what that does is it will send you not only one notification, but it'll let you know, it'll notify you when all of my videos are available to you. So what do we learn here? The three things that knock you down are still not good enough. You find the evidence to do that in the confirmation bias, and then you make the decision not to do it. Those are the three things that knock you down. Three things that bring you up, you do the complete opposite. I am good enough. Create the positive evidence that you do it and make the decision. You see how that goes? You see how the polarity of that is? All right. Thank you for watching. This has been a really good one. Let's do this.